Hello, and good morning, how's it going? A little uncommon for me to be posting once a week, but I'm going to try a new thing where I teach you how to crochet because I really like crocheting. It's such a nice little hobby to have and a really fun skill to be like, look at this sweater I made. And then people are like, wow, that's so cool. And you're like, yeah, I crocheted it in a day or two. And then they're like, oh my God, you're amazing. And it's like, yeah, I know. And everyone should have that feeling of just feeling amazing for making something or doing something. And you don't have to make sweaters. You can make like little stuffed animals. You can make pillowcases or skirts or blankets. There's so much you can crochet. So I'm gonna teach you 3 basic stitches today, and in 2 weeks I am going to teach you how to make a granny square. Yeah. And then I'll show you some things you can make from granny squares, which are pretty simple. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so let's get into it. A couple things I want to mention first are I have already done 3 swatches with the recommended hook size for the yarn I used. I'll show you that in just a second. But these are the 3 stitches we'll be learning today. Single crochet. Very nice, very tight sort of stitch. A half double, which is a little bit looser, and then a double, which is a little bit looser than the half double. So you can already see now that there's quite a difference between each of these stitches. Same yarn, same hook size, but you can see the double crochet is quite a bit taller than the other 2. So we'll start with the double. We'll move on to the half double. Oh my God. We'll start with the single, move on to the half double, and then finish off with the double. And I think that's the easiest way to do it. So let's get into it. Single crochet. So for this and this whole little thing, I decided I would give us a little bit of a variation, different hook sizes and different yarns, just so you can kind of see there's a big difference in your materials and what you use. I prefer these metal hooks. They're pretty inexpensive. You can get them in packs. Go to Michael's, you'll find them. There are other hooks that are really nice, some with like a bit of a grip. Those are good. I've started using those more. But, so, yeah. Back to crocheting. I think for the single crochet, I'm going to work with a 6mm hook, which is 1/2 millimeter bigger than what I used for this. And to show you what I mean, we're going to use the same brand of yarn. So it's just a cotton, and you'll see right here, might be mirrored for you, but we're supposed to use a 5.5mm hook for this yarn, or that's what's recommended. You can play around with it. I recommend playing around with your hook size and yarns. So let's get to it. Got our 6mm hook. I'll leave that right there. Cotton. We're going to start by making a little slip knot. So I'm working under the assumption that everyone knows how to make a slip knot, but I'll just go slow so you can see how I do it. Wrap it around your finger. Wrap it around so you have a little cross. take that loop, grab the yarn that's still attached to the skein or the ball, however you wind it or don't wind it, and pull. And there you go, slip knot. And now we'll put our hook into that loop, and we're going to chain 10. And we're going to chain 10 for all of these swatches. So to chain, hold on to your working yarn so you can keep attention. The tail, you don't need to worry about too much right now. So to chain, we are going to wrap the working yarn around the hook and pull it through that loop, and that's one chain. So wrap it around, pull it through, 2. Wrap around, pull through, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so now that we have 10 chained, we are going to start crocheting. So to start the row off, we want to chain 1, and then in the second chain from the hook, so not in the one we just made, but in this one right here, we are going to insert our hook into that chain, the top part. So do that. We wrap the working yarn around, pull it through the loop, and then we have 2 loops on our chain. 1, 2. So we're going to wrap the working yarn around again and pull through both loops, and that is 1 single crochet. So I'll do that again. Insert into the top part of that chain, or the next chain over. Wrap the yarn around, pull through, wrap the yarn around again, and pull through 2. Insert into the top part, wrap around, pull through, wrap around, pull through 2. Now I'm going to go ahead, and I want you guys to go ahead and finish 10 rows of this. Oh, actually, finish the first row, come back, and I'll show you how to start the second row. Okay, and I'm back. So I have 1 stitch left to make, and we're going to do that the exact same way we have been doing stitches. We're going right into that top part of the chain, wrapping around, pulling it through, wrapping it around, and pulling it through both. And now we have 1 row complete. So what we do from here is we chain 1 and flip our work right around. And then we'll single crochet right to the end, chain 1, flip, and you just keep doing that for 10 rows. So meet me back here when you've got 9 or 10 rows, I guess. Oops. Okay, so now we're on the 9th row, and we are going to finish this row. So we're going to chain 1, insert our hook right into the V's, pull through, wrap around, pull through. And we'll just go right across to the end here. And then we're going to tie it off, and I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty easy. And don't worry if you're crocheting a bit slow right now. The speed comes with time and practice, as you know, most skills do. So let's just get done. And last crochet. All right, pull that up. No, we don't need to actually. We'll wrap around, just like we're making a chain, but instead of flipping, we're gonna just pull it tight. And then we're gonna snip it off. through, and there we go. And that is one swatch done. And you can see already the difference a hook size makes. This one is a little bit taller and a little bit less stiff than the recommended. All right, so single crochets. I will use a 5mm hook, and we'll go with this worsted wool. So the reason, I think I said it already, but I just want to show you like just the difference some little things make, the hook size and such. So we're going to start this one the exact same way we started the other, by chaining 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. And just like our single crochet, we are going to chain 1, and then unlike our single crochet, we are going to wrap around and then insert our hook into the second chain from the hook. And then we'll wrap around again, pull it through, and now we have 3 loops. 1, 2, and 3. So we are going to wrap around and pull through all 3 of those loops. So wrap around, insert, wrap around, pull through 1, wrap around, and pull through all 3. And I'll do that a couple more times for you slowly so you can see. Alright, and we'll just finish out this row real quick. Or I will. I don't know how long it takes you guys. Okay, and that is one row of half double crochets. So, just like the single crochets, that is, we are going to chain 1 and flip. And then we're going to wrap around, insert into that top part of that stitch, pull the yarn through, wrap around, and pull through all 3. And we'll just keep doing that for 9 more rows. Until we have our little swatch done. I forgot to bring out my my first little swatch of the half double. But okay, we're on the 9th row. So now we're working on our 10th row. Or we finished the 9th, now we're working on the 10th. Oh my goodness, words are difficult. So we chain 1, wrap around, insert, pull through, wrap, and pull through all 3. And just continue on doing that right up to the end, and then we'll finish it off the same way we finished off the single crochet. And that little slip stitch. And here we go. That is one half double crochet. You can see they're pretty similar. This one is definitely a bit more tight than this one is. A little shorter. Ooh, it looks like a full stitch shorter. Huh. Interesting. So, We're going to set this one aside, and then we're going to work on our last one, which is going to be a double crochet with acrylic. Hey, I'm back. All right, so double crochet. Here is the cotton version with a 4.5 millimeter. I will be using a 4.5 millimeter for this one, but I will be using acrylic yarn. So we're going to start out mostly the same. We're going to chain 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now this is where it's different than a single crochet or a half double. We are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to wrap around, and then we're going to insert the hook into the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here. We'll yarn over and pull through. So we have 3 loops. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through just 2 of the loops, so we have 2 left. We'll yarn over and pull through the last 2. So yarn over, insert into the next chain, yarn over and pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So one more time, we'll yarn over, insert into the next chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Now I'm just going to finish up this row and we will be right back. Okay, so now that we have our first row done, also sorry about the lighting, it's been like gray and gloomy and my lights all have a yellow tint. Anyways, back to crochet. Now that we've got the first row done, we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And we are going to not crochet into the first chain like we're used to, but instead we're going to go into that second stitch. We're going to yarn over, insert into the second stitch and pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Now, here you're saying, why did we skip that stitch? Well, the 3 chains actually counts as 1 double crochet. So we don't have 1 double crochet in this row, we have 2, 1 and 2. And now we're going to continue on to the end, doing our double crochets. So once again, because I think this is a little confusing, we're chaining 3, 1, 2, and 3. We're flipping our work, we're yarning over, and we are going into that second stitch. So skip the first stitch, insert and yarn over and pull through the second stitch. Then double crochet, and we have 2 stitches on this row. And then continue on to the end. And I will meet you guys back, I'll meet back up with you guys when we are on the last row. So just remember, when you're starting a row, you're chaining 3 and skipping the first stitch. Okay, so let's finish up our last row by chaining 3, skipping the first stitch, and double crocheting right into that second stitch. I'm going to show you something else at the end of this, just for a little fun. because you can finish it off the same way that we have been doing with our other swatches. But this is, it's a good attaching thing? I don't know. It's like when if you want to make a sweater and you want to attach the sleeves but you don't want to sew, you know? So I'm just gonna show you how to do that real quick. Go into our last stitch, and you can go right in because that is a stitch. So go in. Wow, beautiful. Okay, so we'll just chain one, and then we'll go into that first stitch and we'll pull it through and pull that through. So this is a slip stitch. Go in, we yarn over, we pull that right through. Go in, yarn over, and pull it straight through. And we'll keep doing that till the end. And when you have two pieces of crochet fabric, that will, ow, Amadeus, what are you doing? Okay, and then finish it off. And that is one double crocheted piece. And you can see there's a difference once again with our fabric. Ah! Ow, Amadeus, why? Okay, he's helping now. Lie down, be a good boy. So you can see that there is, once again, a difference in our fabric textures. Using the same hook, but a different yarn this time. Oh my God, Amadeus. The same hook size, but a different yarn. So the cotton that I originally made these swatches on is a bit more drapey. This one is a bit more stiff. And it even looks a little tighter than the cotton. Yeah, so I highly encourage for you guys to play around with yarn, play around with hook sizes, and just make little 10 by 10 swatches. You can write down what you find, what you like, what you don't like. That's super important. And yeah. Okay, I'm back. So, recommendations, I guess? Or recap. Recap first, then recommendations. Recap. Cool, we made some squares, or rectangles. We made some swatches. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, I think swatching is a really good way to start crocheting because you can just make a whole bunch of these and they're so non-committal. Like, these don't have to be anything. You can just have your swatches, write down a few notes about them, like your hook size, the yarn you used, and like maybe a couple ideas of what you would like to make from something like that. Yeah, so some yarn suggestions. I highly recommend just starting with acrylic. You can find some pretty decent acrylic right at Michael's or Joann Fabrics. Lion Brand, A Pound of Love, I think is what it's called, is really good. It's a whole pound of yarn. Like, is there anything better than that? It's also pretty inexpensive. The sweater was made from A Pound of Love, and you know, I think it's pretty nice. And another plus for acrylic yarns, machine washable. You don't have to worry about hand washing, the temperature, accidentally felting and or shrinking your project, which has happened to me and it's always sad. Yeah, acrylic. Acrylic is a good beginner yarn. And here's some. So I made a whole sweater out of this yarn, and you'll see it next week. But I still have this much left over, which is awesome. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'll find something. Another sweater, a skirt, shorts. Yeah, and if acrylic you don't like, there is cotton yarn, and cotton is also machine washable and, you know, pretty easy to work with. It's soft, but so is acrylic. Acrylic is really soft. Just don't put a match to it. It will melt and catch fire. It's flammable. It's acrylic. I use a lot of worsted wools too. I like my wools, but these ones you do have to hand wash in cool water and be careful about felting and or shrinking and the color bleeding. You just have to be more careful when you work with like protein fibers, right? So anything that comes from an animal, the dye tends to bleed a bit, and you know, it's fine. And you can get some really, really, really beautiful wool, but you just have to be careful. Yeah, and as for hooks, just go to Joann's or Michael's or whatever craft store is closest to you, and they should all have, is it Boye? B-O-Y-E. These hooks, they're just really basic metal or aluminum. You can get some with like little grips on them, and you can buy like a little pack of like 4, I think, and they'll have a few different sizes, or you can just buy them singularly. Depending on what I need, I usually just buy one, so I'm not buying a whole pack that I probably won't use. A 5mm hook is the most common you're going to use, and the most common you'll see in patterns. If you find you have like a tighter stitch, maybe consider getting a 5.5mm or 6mm to meet the gauge of a pattern, but honestly, I highly recommend just playing around with swatches and seeing what feels right and best for you. I know I like my stitches to be bigger, so this one I think I used an 8mm hook to crochet. I've worked with 10mm hooks to crochet like blankets and other such things, and you know, some people are gonna be like, why are you using such a big hook for such small yarn, and why not use a smaller hook? Are you bad at crochet? And it's like, no, I'm not bad at crochet. No one's bad at crochet. We just have different tastes, you know? So play around, see what feels right for you. Next week I kind of go into the basics, bare bone basics of making a sweater. So if you are interested in making a sweater, consider watching that one, and then, yeah, tell me about it. If you make a sweater, tell me about it. I wanna know, because making sweaters are pretty easy. I've made a whole bunch. You can make kimono styles with just like 2 long rectangles, or you can make something like this where you need 4 rectangles, all similar size. Like, you don't need anything big and fancy. You don't need to shape it too much. If it's a sweater, you can, but you don't need to. And that's why sweaters are great. Skirts are a good beginner project too. Dishcloths, blankets. Yeah. Play around. That's the moral of my story here. Play around. Do what feels right. And if you enjoy hanging out with me and now learning how to crochet, consider sticking around. You can leave a comment. maybe leave a suggestion if there's a certain stitch or something you want to make and you want me to teach you about. I'll do my best. I'm still learning new stitches all the time. Yeah. Bye.